Welcome back everybody, and today I have behind me a 16 stack item filter in Minecraft. That is the title of the video, and that is precisely what you clicked for. So let's go ahead and look at it in action. So on the right here, we of course have our 16 stack item filter. This flyby here pretty much tells you everything you need to know. This comparator is in subtract mode. This barrel here holds 64 items and 60. And this hopper here holds 20 items that really can be in any configuration that you want. Right here I've put them as if they were in a regular item filter. The only important thing is that this first slot is empty. And that's really all the tutorial you need. You can get all the other details from this handful of angles here. On the left here, I also have a non-stackable item filter that will filter out any sort of cakes, or in this case buckets of cod, like I have in my test chest or test shulker box here. So running this shulker box here through the system, we can see it in action. You can see that any sort of buckets of cod will be filtered out into this chest here. All of our eggs will be filtered out into this chest here, and anything that stacks to 64 will be filtered out into this chest here. And now that that's finished filtering, we can see that we have all of our buckets of cod in this chest here, all of our eggs in this chest here, and all of our unfiltered items in here. So these really you can build from the handful of angles I've given you, but we will be doing a block for block tutorial. So for starters, we have this chest here, which represents our output stream. This can be a hopper, a dropper, or really any sort of output stream that you want to lead it into. Below this hopper here, we have a hopper that will be locked in our filtering process, and below that, we have a hopper here that will make sure that all of the items are pulled out of the system when we're finished filtering, and nothing will be left in this hopper here. So for the first block to place, we have this comparator here, which will be detecting any items coming in. That will be led into this barrel here, which has the special property of being a solid block that can transfer signals into this torch, as well as being able to store items for this comparator here. This comparator here will be, of course, set to subtract mode, and this barrel here has 64 and 60 items. The important thing is that this barrel has a output signal strength of 2. We can see in that right side of the F3 screen. Now, this comparator here will be led into a block and a piece of redstone here. This comparator will be comparing against any items that are in this hopper here. So we're going to be placing a comparator like so. And this will be comparing against the items that we'll be putting here in a second once we have this hopper locked. In order to lock it, I'm going to place a block here, 3 blocks like so, redstone here and here, as well as a repeater set to 3, so that there is a delay between this hopper getting an item and the signal being passed along to this hopper here. That delay is, in fact, important. As I mentioned before, we're going to want 20 items in this hopper here, like so. Really, they can be in any configuration, and just to showcase that, I'm going to put them all at the edge here. It doesn't really matter as long as the first slot is open, because the first slot is the only thing that's ever going to be able to receive items, as we, of course, have this block on top, too. And that is really the entire system complete. So we can go ahead and put in our test box here, like so, and see that we have the cod and the eggs coming out down below, and just the polished andesite coming out to this side chest here. And as far as I've been able to test, and I have stress tested this quite a bit, this does work flawlessly. There is no problems with the filtering. Of course, I know about the non-stackable items coming out in this chest. That is a feature, not a bug. Of course, you can have a non-stackable item filter before. And there is one thing I would like to mention before ending the video here, and that's that I'm currently running version 1.19. I know there have been some recent changes, I don't recall if they were experimental or not, with the comparator reading priority, but just in case this here gives you any troubles in your version of Minecraft, or if you have certain features enabled, I have designed an alternate version to the system here. Instead of relying on the barrel carrying 2 independent signals, we instead have this block here to carry the detection signal up and through. And then we have this composter here set to a level of 2, as you can see on the right side of the screen. This comparator, of course, is still set to subtract mode. And unfortunately, we do need to bring things down one more block to allow us to lock this hopper when we need it to. If we were to replace it like so, this signal here would interfere with this comparator, which would then interfere with what's going into this comparator, and it would unfortunately not work the way we intended it to. So we have this repeater here instead, locking things up. And just for the proof that it works, we of course still have 20 items in this hopper here. We can go ahead and put in our test box that will run things through and see that our items are filtering where they need to go. Here we've got our 64 stackables going over, and here we've got our eggs and our cod going down to here. So this works much the same, in fact, pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is there's a slight delay on this that doesn't really matter as it's faster than hopper speed, and that we are slightly bulkier. But this should work should you have any troubles with the slightly more compact version here. But that is going to do it for today's video, so I will see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.